All right, Nick. Not what the doctor ordered here in the eighth inning for our bullpen, but still got three more outs. As daunting as they seem.
Yeah, I was really hoping it'd be 4-2 when we get that last one, so we could have that same 4-2 vibes. But now that's gone too.
It is gone. If you're ahead of me, we're not fixing it this time, by the way. I don't know what was going on during our little off-air situation, but for some reason I came back down here and there was even another little blimp in my Fubo experience. So I could be behind you. I might not. Who knows?
Need a lot of likes, folks. A lot of them.
Yeah. This would be a miracle. If you thought last night was a miracle, this would be a
Who they bring in? Thompson? Who's this guy? 6.11 ERA. This is Diamondbacks debut? Huh? This is Diamondbacks debut. Well,
that's what stinks about it. It's because we knew they were depleted in their bullpen, and
yeah.
just kept.
I was like, yeah, just even when they got up 3-2, I was like, oh man, just keep it here. Gonna have a chance. All right. Heart of the order.
A little sidewinder.
Feels like this is a bad matchup for Ellie. Anyone that throws sidearm. I don't know. Maybe not.
He walks guys. That's what it takes. I mean, you see what happened to us. It's going to require.
Yeah.
It's going to require some walks. Truth is, man, he throws strikes, and I mean, there's times that obviously guys get hit really hard when they throw strikes. But if you throw strikes, averages dictate that you're probably going to not give up that many runs. And if you don't throw strikes, well, you open the door. Paul Spurlock with the big bomb super chat. Thank you, Paul, for supporting the show. He says, walking the leadoff guy and then walk after every game. How does this get fixed? Trey says 0 costing games, but the walks are just as bad in my opinion. Seen it so much. I looked, and we are number 1 in walks in the National League. Our bullpens walk guys, man. They've been walking guys.
Wild thing is, Reds walked 2 batters in 11 innings yesterday. And they walked 4 in the 8th inning. Yeah, I mean.
But this bullpen's kind of survived it. I mean, you could argue that the bullpen can't survive it forever, and that's tonight that showed. It's just not a strike.
This guy's been all over the place.
The one thing I do want to mention about guys that have 6 ERAs and get called, they go back down in AAA and they get called back up, and they get 2 different teams decide to take a chance on them. There's a good chance that they got something in the tank. I mean, these guys are elite level pitchers, man. Even if they're pretty poor in AAA. What do you think everybody said about Brandon Williamson for the first 6 starts he had? This guy stinks. He's a 6 ERA in minor leagues. Well, if they figure it out, then they probably aren't that bad. So hard to get underneath a pitch as a hitter, or like under elevate a pitch when a guy's throwing sidearm like this. You just tend to pound balls right into the ground when a sidearm's thrown. volume's down. I think some of that's my voice. Some of that's my fact that maybe my volume's just down. Let me turn myself up. Is this better? Maybe?
Sounds good to me.
I'll rely on the chat. You let me know. Is my volume down or is your volume down? Or does Nick sound really loud? That's a good question. We'll find out during the show. Because the chat just spoiled this huge comeback I was expecting. Nick is louder. If we're in the trust tree chat, if we're in the trust tree, I've been doing some yelling in the past about 20 minutes. Really loud yelling. All right, Nick. We do them all. That means we got to do them now. Let's do a show.
High drive. Left center field. Racing back to the wall. Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did. He did. Red win. Win. Line to the right field. Genius. The first run ever. With 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed the no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win it. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
All right, Nick. We have a losing edition of Chatterbox Reds, one that's a little demoralizing because of a few things. Reds lose 5-2 to Arizona, and fortunately do not get swept because of the heroic efforts last night. Nick, I don't know really where we want to go with the show. Obviously, we'll do the box score recap as always, but any initial impressions before we get into the box score recap?
Yeah, the most demoralizing 4-3 week in the history of the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, I would agree. I thought about that as I was watching the game. I know that's the optimistic viewpoint for sure. And this series almost makes you completely forget about the fact they swept the Angels. But here we are. That's what we do as fans. At least some of us, most of us maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's some or most.
Yeah,
Most
I wasn't even trying to be
us.
facetious in that. No, I legitimately. I mean, that was you're like, wow, they went 4-3, and it feels like they went 2-6 or whatever.
Yeah.
Weird baseball.
It is. All right, let's do the box score recap, and then let's get into it because I think that there's some interesting things to talk about. As always, there's always interesting things to talk about on Chatterbox Reds.
All right, game 4 of 4 in Arizona. Graham Ashcraft against Slade Ciccone. 0-0 game going to the bottom of the third. Dbacks scored the first run on a single by Corbin Carroll and a double by Ketel Marte. Bottom of the fifth, still 1-0 Diamondbacks. Corbin Carroll smoked the ball off the wall that TJ Friedl crashed into the wall after. By the time Friedl got to the ball, Carroll was rounding third, but Elly De La Cruz fired a throw home at 99.7 off the bat, well into the outfield grass to gun down Carroll at the plate. Reds offense had really been struggling, to say the least. They had just one base runner off of Ciccone through 5 innings, but maybe that throw from Elly De La Cruz injected a little bit of life. Benson singled. Tyler Stevenson then singled. Benson ran hard first to third. TJ Friedl sac fly tied the game at 1 and chased Ciccone. Top of the 7th, Spencer Steer had a leadoff walk. He took second base on a long flyout by pinch hitter Nick Senzel. That brought Noelvi Marte to the plate, who had made a great play to start a double play to end the previous inning. Marte singled home Steer. That made it 2-1 Reds. the bottom of the 7th, the lead did not last long. The first batter, Lourdes Gurriel, cranked a 415-foot home run off of Ashcraft to tie the game up at 2. Ashcraft got 2 outs, and Jabot finished the inning. Ashcraft's final line, 6 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He's got a 2.40 ERA over his last 11 starts. Bottom of the 8th, though, it all unraveled. Ian Jabot walked 2 batters. He was pulled. Lucas Sims walked 2 batters, gave up 2 sac flies, and then a ground ball that got past Ellie. Diamondbacks scored 3 runs on just 1 hit. The 1 hit, questionable at best. So really brutal way to give up 3 runs. That made it 5-2 Diamondbacks, and the Reds didn't muster anything. In the top of the 9th, Reds fall. Reds now a game and a half out of a playoff spot. That's wrong. Game and a half out of a playoff spot as we speak.
All right, chat's telling me that I am very low, which it does look like I'm low. I'm going to try to fix this on the fly here, so just bear with me here. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll put up the right.
Helps, maybe.
The right
Does this help?
standing.
I feel like that helped
Help.
a lot. Let me make sure I don't kill people here before we start this show. All right, that looks like it's appearing on my screen accurately and good. Nick, can you hear me well or not?
I can hear you. We got a rough buzz, but I can hear
right.
you a lot better.
Well, where do we go from here? Technology's not wanting to work. I am worried about my XLR cable, people. Got to be honest with you. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. I don't know. If it's really you got a loud buzz before we start the show, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not like annoying people the whole entire time. You have a bad buzz, Nick, or no? And it, not alcohol buzz, but you know.
But I have headphones on, so maybe maybe it's not as bad as everyone else. Hopefully no one else has headphones on. Probably doesn't come across as bad that way.
All right.
We'll power through it.
All right, they're saying my mic's fading in and out. I don't know. Maybe it's my voice. Maybe it's probably my mic. I think it's just my equipment. I got to be honest with you. Tomorrow I'm going to just ravage this whole entire system and just set it up a whole nother way because it's just not the way it needs to be. I'll be honest with you. All right, the Reds need to get some things figured out. I need to get it figured out. I will. In the meantime, let's push through this show because this whole show is probably not the most fun show anyway. So we'll keep it moving. Reds offense. I don't know. I'm not trying to be too overly crazy about this. I just don't think they're very good offensively. And what I mean by that is just like there's just not enough guys in this lineup to be able to pick each other up when one guy struggles for a significant amount of time. If Matt McClain struggles for any significant amount of time. I don't know. I just don't think. I guess I'm being a little pessimistic here, but I just don't think it's good enough to be a playoff contender. I really don't. Maybe India and Fraley come back and everything gets figured out, but I just don't expect that.
Yeah, this offense is really struggled. It feels like even when they are able to score runs, it feels like it's a real grind to score those runs. It just doesn't feel like anything's coming easy right now, except for that rally late in the game on Saturday night, except for the 9th, 10th, and 11th inning. Everything else really, the last, I don't know, however many games, it feels like forever. It just feels like everything's a real struggle right now. I don't know, I've said it before. When this offense does get clicking, it feels like, how do they struggle for so long? I think we're going to have a few of those moments. I don't know if we're going to get any consistency. I don't know if we're going to be able to get that over like a, nice 10, 15 game stretch like we had at times earlier in the year. But I think we're going to have some good games. I think there's some good games in there from this offense. Like there's a lot of talented players. But yeah, I mean, the last 2 days against the starting pitchers, just, man, it was a brutal watch. I don't know how else to say it. It was just painful at times.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm going to try to talk relatively loud because I know if I turn myself up on the machine, it's going to make the buzzing sound really loud. And I think if I just talk really loud, I'm either going to sound like I'm screaming the whole show or I'm just going to eliminate the buzzing and make sure you can barely hear me. So I'm going to do my best here. I'm working hard on it, chat. I know technology right now is failing me. I just, got done laying the law on the parent, or not the parents, as a parent. My two sons about killed each other in the 7th inning. And then honestly, after that, I thought about going outside and taking care of myself once I watched the bullpen walk the world. But that's here nor there. Reds offense has not been very, very good. They've not been very, very good. That's all a joke, by the way. That's all a joke. You don't need to call any 1-800 numbers for Trace. I'm perfectly fine, okay? Perfectly fine. Everything's going well at the Fowler house. The only thing is this. Let's just give him a little bit of time. I'm going to give him another series before I go over off the deep end, Nick. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him one more series. One more series before I go over the deep end with this offense. If they can't score more than 3 runs on an average in a baseball game for the next 3 games, I'm over the deep end. I'm going to say their offense is horrible. It was a good season, which is a little over the top. I get that, but you know what? That's what my brain's telling me. And I also want to shout out David Bell. I thought he did a great job of taking out Graham Ashcraft. Graham Ashcraft looked like he was laboring. 90 pitches. Is it different than some other 90 pitches? That's why I don't know if pitch count, you can always be like, oh, look at Exact's pitch count. He looked different. I even thought Chris Welsh kind of was telling Sadak that he felt that way too. It was like Sadak was, well, he struck this guy out earlier in the game and got him on a ground out, and Sadak, and Welsh was like, well, that was earlier. So, you know, I don't know. I do think that David Bell gets way too much criticism in the chat. I mean, I don't know what you want this guy to do. He's got to go out and hit for everybody too, because if he has to go out and hit for everybody, then I'd understand the criticism. But David Bell at this point, there's only so much my man can do here. There's only so much my man can do. All right. Let's get into Graham Ashcraft. I do want to say something right before the Reds bullpen. Remind me to say it because I think it's relatively insightful, but I don't want to keep rambling on before we get through these subjects.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Can you hear me or not?
Kind of. It's cutting in and out a little bit.
All right.
This is one of the 162 for sure.
I'm trying.
Hey,
hard. You know what I feel
grind.
like right now? You know what I feel like? I'm going to turn myself up so you can at least hear me. You might hear a lot of buzzing, but you'll at least hear me. You know what I feel like? I feel like one of those guys that's getting ready to go live on air, or he's live on air currently, and he's ready he's just ready to rip all of his equipment out of the studio and just say, F it, turn the cameras off, turn it all off. We're done. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to figure it out.
Better than ever.
Now, this technology is pissing me off. I just had to watch the Reds walk 3 guys in a row, and throw like 9 strikes in a total inning, and now my technology doesn't work. So, you know, it's just I'm down. I'm down bad, Nick. Carry the show. Put me on your back, dog.
Oh boy, this is one of those games. It's just like, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Hey, Tyler Stevenson got another hit today. Ashcraft was pretty good. He was ho-hum. You know, he's got a 2.40 ERA over his last 11 starts. Like, he's pitching great. Go beat the Giants. What do you say? I don't know. Yeah. What do you say at this point?
Dude, I mean, the chat is funny sometimes, and I mean, I can't let. I feel like I'm gonna let them ruin the show for me, but I do gotta. This is a laugh out loud thing. I'm Brad said that David Bell couldn't manage a Taco Bell. Listen, man. I mean, Taco Bells must be tough to manage. How many Taco Bells have you walked into and you were like, damn, this is like really clean, nice? Not many, I can tell you, not many. The food turns out all right most of the time. But I'm saying, let's not downplay how hard it is to manage a Taco Bell. I'd assume the staffing at those places has got to be rough. I mean, you want to talk about turnover. It probably is. David Bell would be suited for the job. He'd probably have like guys like Nick Martini out in right field, and next thing you know, he's got to get some new part-time guy in the office the next week. I'm telling you, that's what this Reds team's been. It's a bunch of part-time guys. We got a bunch of part-timers right now, Nick. Let's be honest. Where's Jonathan India? Where's Jake Fraley? This is what I wanted to say earlier. All right, I'm going to get it out of the way before my technology says that I can't do it anymore. Ready? If someone told you that David Bell had to manage a team that had Hunter Green have a pretty big failure as a season, and I don't mean that like negatively towards Hunter, but just his production was a failure. All right, Nick Lodolo, failure. Jonathan India, failure. Joey Votto, failure. Tyler Stevenson, failure. And I told you the Reds were within a game and a half of the playoffs on August 27th. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if we use our brains just a little bit on this show for just a second, we shouldn't be here. The only reason you should be excited about this team, quite frankly, is the fact that a lot of these guys that are going to be here long term have carried the load. They've carried the load. And you know what? What would have been a damn shame is if Joey Votto was playing really well, Tyler Stevenson, you could argue, let's just play the reverse factor. Let's say none of these guys that came up that have carried the load were really impressive. That would be actually a little more devastating than what we're dealing with right now. So not to be the bearer of optimism here on a really, really bad day, but hey, I'll take the bullets. If you want me to take the bullets, I'll take the bullets. Noelvi Marte looks like he can be an absolute stud. We've already seen what Ellie De La Cruz can be. We know what Matt McClain is. CES would be nice if he just got rid of. Can I speak to CES for just a second? CES, I know you're probably never going to see this video, but if someone shows it to you, I know you're like, who the hell is this guy in the basement talking to you? Cut the shit, man. Just go play baseball. Cut the shit. You're worried about all this stupid shit. Go back to AAA like you have been. Put that leg kick up there. You like the leg kick? Put the leg kick up there and swing the bat as hard as you damn can. Who gives a shit? I don't care if you strike out for the next 20 times in a row. We're swinging for power. We're swinging for power, Nick. That's what we're doing. We're not going to sit up here and worry about all this stuff. Just go play baseball. Go play baseball. You're overthinking it all. All of it. You're overthinking it all, man. You're a great player. Just go play. Quit changing your batting stance every other series because you're worried about contact, this, that, and the other. I don't give a damn if you strike out 20 times in a row. Lift your leg up. Let it eat. All right, I'm done.
I don't know if this means anything, but CES next series against the Giants, it'll be the first time he will play in the Bay Area, and he's from that area, like 20 miles away from Oracle Park. So, and maybe I don't know if that'll be worse for his overthinking, playing in front of the home faithful, or hey, maybe it'll, I don't know, maybe be a good thing. Maybe not. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm not holding my breath. Reds bullpen, you got a sad face on there. Well, I mean, it was coming, Nick. We knew this was coming. I don't know why this is a shocker. Can't be perfect all year long.
Yeah, I mean, Jabot has been awesome for months. Lucas Sims had struggled for a while, but man, he felt like he was really good. I don't know, maybe seeing Lucas Sims in that spot, I don't know if that's a sign of how many. I don't know, man. I feel like David Bell's kind of like damned if he does, damned if he doesn't in some of these spots. But I don't know. Maybe as much as Sims has been used, maybe you just say, "Hey, I'm going to go with the fresher arm and Duarte." I know he was pitching in AAA 2 days ago, but I mean it's really second guessing. But I don't know. I mean it's yeah. Need an off day. I feel like we've said that a lot, though.
Yeah. Well, the wild thing about emotions as a fan is that if they somehow won today, we would be on top of the world, man. We'd be on top of the world because it felt like they had no business splitting the series with the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are starting to play pretty good baseball. The Reds seemingly are not, but they did just sweep the Angels, so. I guess they say they all count the same. It doesn't feel like that, but I guess they all count the same. I'm going to go with that today. But at the end of it, you can see it right on the screen, right? A game and a half back. Not what we'd hoped for when we went into the series with Arizona, for sure. But that's where we're at. Shout out to the Giants and shout out to the Marlins for basically, I don't know, they're playing just as bad. So kudos to them.
I mean, you're still going to have it right in front of you this week, with 4 against the Cubs. You can do the math on how easy it is to make up games there. They hold one of the spots. The Giants this week, I don't want to say it's an elimination series, but if one team sweeps the other, it's, a really huge swing, probably knocking one of those teams at least into that, like, spot where they'd have to do something miraculous to get back in the race. So, yeah, I mean, look, they're all going to be big. Every game's big. When you got 30 games left, every game's huge. There's no games that, I mean, when the teams that you're fighting with a spot, they're a little bigger, but every game matters so much from this point on the rest of the way. So, But yeah, thankfully they have the tiebreaker with the Diamondbacks. So, really it's 1.5, but it's probably more like 1 kind of if you're doing the math.
Will be a half.
I don't know.
They're a half
What's
game
that?
behind. They're a half game behind.
Well, they're a game and a half, but they're a game and a half behind the Diamondbacks right now. But the Reds
so
hold
they're
the
a half game
tiebreaker.
back, theoretically. I don't know why you keep worrying about that half game game. Listen, Nick, if they tie, the Reds win. So it's a full game. That's a whole full game. They're only half a game back right now. If the let me paint this picture pretty easily. If the Diamondbacks were to lose and the Reds were to win, right? And then the Diamondbacks on an off day, on a Reds off day, they lose again, they have the same record. So they're 1 game back.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. All right. Again, we don't need to do these mental gymnastic maths until probably like the last day of the season or the last 2 days, couple days of the season. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to change the mojo around. Do not get mad at me if things go really south, though. But I'm switching it all up. I'll still have the hoop in the background, all that. Don't worry about it. But I'm legit. I'm going to change it all up. I'm going to make sure that, somehow my kids don't mess with whatever it is that makes all this work. And my apologies if you can't hear me or if we're so loud that you hear buzzing in your ears. So either way, my apologies. Let's do some Reds MILB, and then who, what, when, where, and why. Maybe we'll take a couple quick questions, and then we'll call it a beautiful Sunday.
Well, I wish I had better news in Reds MILB, but they went 0-4 today too. So, but we'll run through it. All right, AAA Louisville, they lost 6-1. Bats 65 and 59 on the season. Stuart Fairchild 0-for-3. This was his second rehab game. Did walk, but did hit the ball hard. He had 3 balls hit, 103, 94, and 94 today. Trey Mancini 0-for-4 with 2 Ks. Jose Barrero 0-for-4. Levi Stout started the game today. Pitched okay, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, but walked 4 batters. And then Chasen Shreve, perfect inning with a strikeout. Only allowed 1 hit, no walks, 4 strikeouts in 3 innings so far with the bats. Guy that probably finds his way up to the big league roster at some point as another lefty. So good to see him pitching well. And then Tony Santillan also pitched a perfect inning today with 2 strikeouts. Chattanooga, they lost 6-5 in 10 innings, but Blake Dunn 2-for-4, 2 home runs. He's got 20 home runs in the season. Blake Dunn hitting .353 with an OPS over 1,000 at AA in 63 games this year. Dayton Dragons, they lost 4-0. Not a whole lot going on here. Edwin Arroyo was 1-for-4. And then Daytona Tortugas, they lost 6-4 to Fort Myers. The Tortugas have lost 5 of 6. Cam Collier, though, did stay hot 2-4 with a double. Collier hitting .341 with a .940 OPS in the month of August. That's your Reds MILB presented by Betfred Sportsbook.
That it is. I see people in the chat saying the graphic was wrong. The graphic.
Yeah, I had the. I didn't know it was. It was. I didn't have the Diamondbacks. I had the games back were right. I had the Diamondbacks at 68 and 6. I didn't give them the win today.
Understood. Well, the games back is all.
But the games back were right.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Now,
it's correct. I think.
Whatever. It's close enough.
Call me an optimist. I had it as if they won first, and I tried to change it on the fly. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put it up as they lost as the graphic, and then so.
No, it's
sorry.
Fair. It's fair. All right. As far as the rest of the season goes, I don't know. Reds aren't dead yet. Season's not over. See people in the chat saying that. Season's not over. It's not over. It's not dead yet. I know it feels gross. We all understand it feels gross. But season's not dead yet. We'll be back better than ever, as always. And here's my thing, Nick. I don't know if this is the shortest show of the year. Some are saying, perhaps, possibly not our best show of the year. I'll take the blame for that because, one, technology didn't work, really got me out of sorts. But there's not a whole lot to really – this is what I love about this show maybe the most is that you're going to get our real optimistic – you're going to get our real, truth, authentic takes. We don't have to fill an hour and a half. We don't have to fill 2 hours. This isn't the radio to where I have to sit around and just make up stupid shit for 2 hours to try to fill airtime. If I don't have and Nick doesn't have anything insightful to say, then we'll keep it moving and we'll be back better than ever, like I said, tomorrow. And We'll find out. We'll find out eventually what this team's made of. I think that's where I'm at. I don't want to sit here and cast stones and say this offense is abysmal. They're not going to be any good. They're not going to be able to carry the load. I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, this offense is to be determined, but it's not looking too hot.
I had the score wrong too. I think that's what people were on. I had it
5-2.
switched. Yeah, I had a 5-2 Reds.
No, well, that would have been nice.
Hopefully no one tuned in and went, hey, the Reds won, didn't watch anything about the game. Like, why are these guys so down? Why are these guys so sad right now? The Reds won 5-2. You know what, man? It is a Sunday afternoon. I got kids running around everywhere upstairs. Come on, man. Give us a break here. We've been doing shows at 3:00 in the morning. We were on here for like 2.5 hours last night.
I don't think the chat's serious. I don't think the chat's serious.
I know. You gotta give it back to this chat, because if you don't, they'll just they'll run all over you.
Yeah, they will. I seen Yash's comment earlier. I let it go, Yash. I got something for you, Yash. All right, Yash. It's 1776, dog. Don't forget it. Still love you though, Yash. You know what I'm saying? Still love you. But I seen you in the chat. I let it go though. But I still do love you, Yash. All right. Any final parting thoughts before we move on to the next show?
Got a question, thoughts on Tyler Stevenson? I mean, he's playing well. I mean, he had another nice hit today. I think he's hitting like 300 over his last 7 games or whatever. He's had 2 home runs, had a double and a triple. So, I mean, hey, like, especially if he's hitting 9th, I mean, that's great. You need any contributors you can get, especially when your offense is playing as bad as they are right now.
Big Z with the super chat, 20 bomb, man. A 20 bomb. I should know this, but hold on. I'm not going to ruin this. Andrew Jackson. He tossed us an Andrew Jackson. Appreciate that. I should know who's on the $20 bill right off the rip. You know what I'm saying?
I would have no idea. It's like jersey numbers for me.
That's really bad. All right, so here's the thing. All right, chat. Here's the thing. Your boy has to go out and play Elliott one more time in a round of golf. I think it'll be the last time I have to play him. I don't expect to have to play him one more time, because that would require him to beat me. Although I will say, I looked at the course on the computer about 10 minutes ago. Well, right 10 minutes before we came on air, and he's being smart. I mean, he's basically playing like a little Mickey Mouse course. The holes are like 200 yards apiece. I mean, it's ridiculous. So basically, he's trying to change the game, which is fine. That's what he's supposed to do. But I'm just gonna tell you, I'm a competitor. I probably need to go out into the backyard and just take a couple swings, make sure that I've swung a golf club within about a week. And I'll be back again, as always. We'll be back better than ever on this show. The Reds are not dead. Okay? They're just not. They're not. Lift your spirits up a little bit. Feel better about yourself. All right? Noelve Marte probably going to be a guy that we love on this baseball team for the next 4 or 5 years, and maybe longer. But again, I'm not going to get my heart attached to many of these guys for an extended period of time, because I think that the smart move that for the Cincinnati Reds is probably not to be extending a bunch of guys. Let's let them play while we have team control, and let's keep a new crop, a new fresh of people coming right behind them. That's the plan moving forward. I like that. I think Nick Krall's a smart guy in doing that. But for the time being, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you again, this team, whether you like it or not, has a bright future. And you want to clip that up? Go ahead. You tell me the last time you watched a Reds team that had this many young guys and truthfully were playing meaningful baseball this late in the year. Not many. So, hey, all I got to tell you is that we love you, chat. The fact that there's 100+ people in here after a abysmal game like that is ridiculous. Do me a favor on your way out the door. I need you to hit the like button. And as we do this promo, since you're watching the stream, I'm going to let you in on a little secret when we do the outro, though. That is. All right, Nick. I love doing the show with you, man. You are a more than prepared man. I don't give a damn if they want to get on you about missing a graphic or two. But you know what? You got this one right. Who, what, when, where, and why.
All right, Reds and Giants. Giants are actually just getting underway. They're playing Sunday Night Baseball right now against the Braves. Giants not playing well, 4-12 in their last 16 games. So unlike the Diamondbacks who came in red hot, Giants are on the other end. The Giants also, tomorrow will be day 4 of 13 straight days for them without an off day, which ends with the trip in Chicago against the Cubs. Currently missing a bunch of guys from their normal lineup. Yastrzemski, Conforto, Haniger, and Crawford all out of the lineup. Run down the series real quick. It's Abbott against Kyle Harrison. More on that in a minute on Monday. Williamson on Tuesday. It might be Alex Cobb. Giants haven't officially announced their Tuesday, Wednesday guys yet. And then Wednesday, it's Hunter Green against maybe Logan Webb. Monday, Tuesday, 9:45. Wednesday, a 3:45. And interesting note here. So after these 2 9:45 games on Monday and Tuesday, the Reds do not play. The Reds, the rest of the season, only have 4 games that start after 6:40. And 3 of those are at 7, 1 is at 8. So every game will be a lot earlier. Most of them will be at 6:40 the rest of the way. Some good notes on the Giants. Reds and Giants split a 4-game series in Cincinnati in late July. We were on the riverboat for one of those games. Well, I guess like 75% of one of those games. Reds outscored the Giants 20-18 in that series. 2 games were decided by 1 run. Now they're decided by 2 in extra innings. But here's a really good one. Reds are 17-13 at Oracle Park since 2013. That's the Reds' best record against any NL team, and actually the only team they're above 500 against on the road over that span. All right, so Kyle Harrison, lefty, tomorrow. He's the Giants' top prospect, number 20 overall prospect, and top left-handed pitching prospect in baseball. Just making his second big league start. He made his MLB debut on Tuesday against the Phillies. Went 3 1/3, gave up 2 runs. This will be his home debut. Probably be a little special for him. He was born in the San Francisco area. Manager Gabe Kapler said Harrison will be on a pitch limit on Monday, but not a strict one. Expect maybe 75, 80 max. So then Andrew Abbott for the Reds. He's been struggling. Abbott pitched 6+ innings in 8 of his first 10 starts, but he's failed to make it through 6 innings in 5 consecutive starts. Walks have been up, and he's got a 6.46 ERA over his last 5 starts. But Abbott against the Giants, back on July 20th, 8 innings, 1 hit, no runs. So hopefully he can bring that magic back.
We need it. We need it. I'd really just like to win a baseball game because the offense just goes above and beyond and scores 12 runs. That'd be great. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm hopeful for. All right. All right, I'm going to hit the outro. We're going to play I want Nick to run through the rundown of all the things that we do around here at Chatterbox, and then I will give a little bit of insider trading, a little secret to the guys. If you're watching this show right now, you get to find out something that no one else will know until the morning. Chatterbox Clicker, as always, with Kyle Caskey. I think it's going to be a great show. It's going to be on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. It's going to break down the film of the Bengals the previous week, and then maybe even a look ahead. And as always, I've told you about this, but these guys are hilarious, man. You want to feel better about your day? You want to laugh a little bit? Go and listen to The Chatter. They have a new podcast out, and they're going to have a couple episodes dropping every single week. And then what else we got, Nick? What else we got? We got Off the Bench with Thom Brennaman, with Trace Fowler with an asterisk. But here's the news. Here's the news I got for you. Ready for it? Tom's going to do the first hour tomorrow. Tom's going to be back doing the first hour tomorrow. He's going to share some updates. We're going to see what he has to say. Don't know if it's good news or bad news, to be honest with you. I'm gonna be living with every word he says, just like the rest of us. But join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, as always. But you know what this is, Chatterbox Reds. Please download, rate, and review the outro. I didn't time it perfectly, so that means I gotta scream now. Go leave us a nice review. We're down bad. Go Reds.